Turning to the municipal government now, during the Lloydminster Council meeting earlier this week, there was some discussion regarding two bylaws, the Northeast Area Structure Plan bylaw and the Land Use bylaw. Here's Sarah Baker with more.
The Northeast Area Structure Plan bylaw holds a long-term vision for the Northeast area. Many councillors agreed with administration's rationale in regard to what they had planned for the area.
Circumstances have changed enough to understand that to have an opportunity at economic development and to take advantage of some of the resources we have in our community, like the rail lines, we need to change the way we're thinking about the space in that area of our city, and to know that really from an industrial perspective on the Saskatchewan side, that's one of our only opportunities, and knowing that what we have there could lead to great benefit to the city and create a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunity.
Council also looked at the possibility of residential development in the Northeast area as well. However, with the new context of the world we live in currently, a more business-focused area made more sense.
When we looked at that area, that was one of the pieces that we looked at as saying, perhaps there is room for some residential development in there. Simultaneously, the other piece we did do is an intermodal study where we looked at, the rail traffic, CP and CN, and we also looked at air traffic with interstate as well. And I think one of the things we realized is that there is more uptake and interest in the business community for that property rather than residential property.
The land use bylaw was also discussed since it needs an update, which relates to the Northeast Area Structure Plan. During the meeting, questions were brought forward to administration about the potential of widening locations like 40th Avenue.
I just wanted to have them clarify that that was being addressed and looked into, and that it would come forward before the actual development took place. And we didn't get to a point where we were stuck with the side of road that's the size of road that was there with the development already taking place. So yeah, they answered my question, and we're happy to know that there is some future widening possibilities there if needed for the growth of the city.
Discussion on the bylaws will continue in future meetings. Sarah Baker, Primetime Local News.
Ahead of Thanksgiving, students at Mother Teresa School said thanks and enjoyed a Thanksgiving feast today. This is the first time in 2 years that the school has been able to put on an activity like this. Grade 1 students have been working all week to prepare the meal by helping make buns, peeling and cutting carrots and potatoes along with parent volunteers. This activity provides the students with a hands-on learning opportunity.
I mean, they're counting carrots and they're counting potatoes, and so there's still those academics that are involved with it, but they get to develop those social and emotional pieces of school, which are also important.
The students also made their own placemats and included what they're most thankful for.
All week we've been kind of talking about what they're thankful for, what Thanksgiving means. So we've been brainstorming, and then when we created the placemats, they got to write something that they were thankful for. So some of their responses were really awesome.
I'm thankful for this school because school is important to learn stuff. I am thankful for God. He's so important. I'm thankful for my cat.
For video game lovers, there's a 24-hour game-a-thon taking place in November to raise money for an important cause. Our Abby St. John has more with the team putting on this event.
On November 5th at Bab's Gaming Store, a team from Extra Life is holding a 24-hour game-a-thon to raise money for the Children's Hospital Foundation.
Our team is Foxtrot Tango Kilo, and it's a group of gamers that we've had together for about 10 years or more. And in the last 10 years, we've participated with Extra Life, which is a game-a-thon that raises funds for children's hospitals in our area. And it's affiliated with the Children's Miracle Network. And yeah, it's a huge gaming 24-hour game-a-thon.
Over the last 10 years, Quentin and his team have been participating in these events, and this is the first year they have a facility to hold it at.
We've been doing these in our basements for the last 10 years off and on, so this is the first year where we've got to come to a sweet facility like this. And yeah, we were happy to work with Babs, and we're going to have a bigger, better event this year. Everything's going to be streamed live on Twitch. We'll have some Facebook updates and stuff as well.
Each member of the team has a reason why they participate to raise money for children's hospitals.
I do this a lot too because my grandson, he was born premature, and he had to utilize the facility in Saskatoon, the NICU at the Jim Pattison. And so I do the gaming for him too, and that's one huge reason that I'll continue to do it.
Well, what kind of highlighted it is when I actually had a young family myself, and I saw the importance of children's hospitals, and we have some great options in both Saskatchewan and Alberta. So that was a great opportunity to utilize our passion for gaming as well as raising money for the kids to help out wherever we can.
So for myself, it was my niece Charlotte. She was born a little early with a hole in her heart, and if it wasn't for the Stollery, she probably wouldn't be here today. So.
It's like a really easy way to help, kids that are in need, families that need it the most. So just participating is really easy, right? It's games, so.
The team is looking forward to the wide variety of games that will be played throughout the 24 hours.
Well, this year, of course, we have our personal preferences of games, but we like to involve things that can be played with multiple players. So we like to play, say, Fall Guys because of the custom games. Overwatch 2 just came out, so hopefully we get to sit down and beat some of those queue times to get in. But those are the main ones, kind of judge it up between MOBAs and some just party games. We're going to play some board games. It's 24 hours is a long time, so we're going to have to spread out what we play to make sure we stay sane and awake. So
I just want exposure for this because this event is amazing. It's really cool to be a part of. I'm going to be gaming probably around Valorant, a little bit of League of Legends, and then some party games like Mario Party or Mario Kart or something like that.
The best part is you get to game with your friends for 24 hours, right? Yeah. So that's always a good time. Not really looking forward to anything in particular, just the day, I guess.
There are multiple ways you can get involved, whether it's watching the event through Twitch or making donations throughout the event.
There's a few things. The website is extra-life.org, and you can either donate to our team. You can look up all the members, Foxtrot, Tango, Kilo. I'm Quentin Patty, so you can find me on there. You can go through the roster, and if you wanted to donate to someone, each one of us will have different incentives. For me this year, I'm going to be turning my hair into a mullet if I can hit my goal. So that's pretty exciting. As you can tell, I do have a lot of it. And so that's kind of what I got going on. And there's a lot of other great incentives. So it's great. Check out the website. You can donate there as well. And that's where you can get more information on the event itself and why they started Extra Life.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Abby St. John.
And now our Abby St. John continues her discussion with Janice from the Lloydminster Christmas Angels and how they give back to families during the holidays.
Welcome back to part 2 of my interview with Janice with the Lloydminster Christmas Angels. We're just discussing about what the Lloydminster Christmas Angels is and what they do and the families that they help, specifically families with health problems or family members that have lost other members due to health issues. So let's jump right back into it and just continue explaining what this means to those families.
Usually it seems it's a family that's going through cancer. That's how it seems like it's been for the most part. Could be children, could be parents. And we did lose one of the recipients to cancer, a young mom a few years ago, which was so sad. And then one of my members that was with me from year 1, she passed away of cancer. I think the 5th year we did this. So we actually picked her family that year, and her daughter was actually graduating that year. So we did an extra, we collected money for a grad dress and shoes and photography. I just have goosebumps. It's just so amazing. It's so amazing,
No, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
It's such a little thing, but it makes such a huge difference, especially
Yes.
to these families. And Christmas, I think, is the hardest time when you've lost somebody or you're going through those types of hardships. So they don't always think about Christmas. They just think about the person that they lost.
I know. So just to bring a smile to their face for the day, just to know that the community cares. Honestly, it's just like it's wonderful.
That's absolutely fantastic, and especially around the holidays. If anybody wants to get involved to help out with you, or if they even have a family that they would like to nominate, how can they do so, and what do they have to do to get that?
To join the group, you just go on Facebook and look up Lloydminster Christmas Angels 2022. And like I said, it's private, so they have to request to join. And if they want to nominate, they can private message me. Just look me up on Facebook and they can private message me. Like I said, it doesn't mean the family will get picked. We've done 2 every year. I think one year we only did one because I think it was the year the oil kind of crashed and it just didn't work out to do 2. But this year I'm hoping to do 2 families again. And yeah, I look forward to my annual visits because a lot of these people have jumped on board in year 1 and they're still, look forward to it every year. So we always have our little visits and
it's amazing that you've been able to do this for so many years. And,
even with COVID, we didn't stop that year. We still did it. I didn't have drop off here. It was at a friend's business. I was just scared with a lot of people coming to my home. So, but we've done it every year, since 2011 or 12. I wished I could remember. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. And, I wish you the best of luck for this year.
Thank you.
It seems like a lot of people really love getting involved and a lot of people love giving back, especially during the holidays. And that's something that I've noticed since being here, that this community is always willing to band together to help those who really need it.
It feels right. It just feels good. Even with I'll put a plug in for Co-op Christmas, the tree they have. I love picking seniors. I always go down there because that goes really quick. So I'll pick a name or 2 off the tree and if people just gravitate towards helping people,
No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And getting this out there for more people who may not know that it's a thing, then maybe you got more people volunteering and helping out.
Right. So thank you so much.
And now it's time for us to check in for the first time with Shelby Clark for a look at weather heading into the long weekend.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking a first look at your weather forecast here in the Border City for our Friday, our beautiful Friday here. We are just sitting at 20 degrees, so we are back up to that 20 point. We were cooling down definitely for a bit there for yesterday and the day before there on Wednesday, but now we are seeing a beautiful day, seeing a lot more sun as well. So hopefully everybody's enjoying their Friday as we head into, like you said, the Thanksgiving long weekend. I think we got some beautiful temperatures that everyone's going to be excited to see. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are matching with us, seeing that 20-degree point. It is 21 for the warmest temperature over on this end with Vermilion and up in Cold Lake and over in Edmonton. 19 degrees for up in Bonnyville and Lac La Biche and down in Provost. So Provost is just seeing that 19 as well, but still seeing some nice temperatures over on our Alberta side. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are slightly matching with us with those conditions over on this side. Up in Isle of Cross, they are seeing the coolest with that 17 degrees. Start to warm up from there. We're seeing that 18 and 19 in some areas over on this side as well. And Pearslin, Maidstone, and North Battleford matching with us here, seeing that 20-degree mark. And for North Battleford, overnight, they will be going out to low of 3, so we will still be seeing that 3 degrees for our evening low temperatures for most spots in the surrounding areas. So no one, I think, is complaining better than those minus marks. So I think it's a pretty good temperature for North Battleford because tomorrow they will be going into that 21 and seeing a mixture of some sun and clouds. So seeing a beautiful Saturday for North Battleford that they will be expecting throughout the day. Switching over to Cold Lake, they'll be going down to low of 5, so seeing that single digit, but it's definitely seeing some warmer conditions than what they have been seeing for the past few nights. No complaints there. But tomorrow, Cold Lake will also be seeing that 19, so seeing a nice warm temperature once again and seeing, a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds throughout the day. So beautiful Saturday for Cold Lake. And for us here in the Border City, we will be seeing that low of 6, so definitely warming it right back up for our evening low. Nice to see, as we're more in the fall season. Hopefully this will continue on throughout October. We won't be seeing those minus marks anymore. And then tomorrow we will be expecting a beautiful 20 degrees and seeing a mixture of some sun and cloud, but a little bit more sun. So seeing a beautiful Saturday for our Thanksgiving long weekend. It's going to be great. And now ending off with some viewer photos. Thank you to everyone that have submitted is some nice shots. This one is both from Christine. Absolutely love these shots, Christine. I really appreciate your submissions. Gorgeous colors in the skies that you were getting those nice shots. And that's all I have for now. A little more coming up after the break.
now into October, and most crop farmers near Lloydminster and throughout Saskatchewan have finished filling their bins. Our Thomas Wildman has more in this week's crop report.
Time now for a bit of a special Thanksgiving edition of the Crop Report. Today with us, as always, is Matt Struthers. So thank you, as always, for being with us, Matt.
Of course.
And so, Matt, on this Thanksgiving weekend, I'm sure those crop farmers that haven't finished up their crop will be finishing it up very soon. A lot of farmers are quite a bit done here in the Lloydminster area in this northwest region. Is that true, or are some of our northwestern friends needing to kind of hurry it up as frost will be quickly approaching as October continues on?
No, the Northwest is in a really good position right now. 94% of the crop is in for that part of the province. So there's not too much left out there, and there's not too much risk, as a couple more days into October go on here. So if the weather holds out, we've had some pretty good weather across the province in the past week. If that holds out, the producers in the Northwest will be wrapped up in no time.
You just mentioned that producers throughout the province have had some good weather, which is good to hear, as that's been something that's been a little turbulent throughout the summer and into the spring, into the fall, pardon me here. So let's kind of talk about the rest of the areas. We've been mentioning that the Southwest and the Central West have been mostly finished for a good while now, but those northern areas, especially in the east, close to Manitoba, have been dealing with quite a bit of rain, and we're a little bit behind the rest of the province.
Those regions you just mentioned were delayed. Usually they start sometime in the later half of August. Most of them didn't start full swing until into September. So they were delayed, but now they've been really lucky with some really good weather out there, and harvest has just kind of rolled along as fast as possible for many producers. Of course, there are a few areas that are still behind just slightly. A lot of those bigger guys out there have a lot of land to get through. And some of the crop out there, the canola, for example, has been a little pesky, staying green on the stem. So that's coming to a close here soon. All of the regions, you touched on it, the West, Central, and Southwest are practically finished up. A little bit of flax in those regions to be cleaned up. But in the east and up into the north, I think the lowest we have is 81%, and that's the East Central. And then we mentioned before the Northwest with 94%. So everybody else is in between there.
That's very good to hear. And now that we have pretty much most of Saskatchewan over into that 80% of them being done and having their crop in, we probably have a pretty decent idea of yields. The projections early were to be about average, or maybe just slightly below average for the whole province. Has that stayed true, or have the projections just for yields improved a little bit?
Yields are much stronger this year than they were last year. Of course, looking at the province, they look very good. I think most crops are landing either at average or just slightly above, which is very good to see. Whereas when we break that down by region, we see that those yields fall short in the West, Central, and Southwest, like we've been mentioning in the last couple of weeks here, and or a bit higher in those eastern or southeast areas as well. Some really great crop out there in the eastern half of the province, and some pockets in the West, Central, and Southwest that just got lucky with the minimal rain that they did get. They just got lucky, and they were able to have a better crop than they did last year, but still a lot of single-digit crop yields out there in some of the province.
Just getting a bit more specific here in the Northwest region, and especially closer here to Lloyd, we've gotten a decent amount of rain, but certainly not as much as the East. But we've also had good, nice sunny weather to kind of balance it out. Have our yields about average or a little bit above that, and especially compared to last year?
In the north and Northwest, I'd say that they're better than average, especially when they're compared to last year as well. But no, very, very good yields. Wheat is coming in somewhere around 53 bushels an acre. Oats is up there near 100. Barley's almost 75. So those in my mind, that's very good to see, especially with seeing the Northwest was quite a bit wetter this year, but not every part of the Northwest was. So good to see those yields bounce back, and hopefully next year we can just continue down that same road.
Thank you so much for all the information once again, Matt, and we hope that you have an excellent Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
And now here's a look at today's egg prices. Moving to sports now, the AAA hockey season is well underway here in the border city, and the U18 Lloydminster Bobcats have started off theirs in the right direction. Practice took place Friday morning at the Civic Center for the club as they worked on special teams before they hit the road to Edmonton to play in 2 showcase games this weekend. The Bobcats say despite starting off the season 2-0, there's always room for improvement.
Tighten up the D zone a little bit. I think we let in a few more than what we wanted this weekend, so hopefully we can tighten that up. So.
Maybe as the season goes on, we'll start paying attention more to what the other teams are doing. But right now, we need to worry what we're doing first. So as long as we do what we need to do, I think we'll be successful no matter what the scoreboard says today.
The Bobcats will look to stay undefeated this weekend when they take on the Calgary Flames and Lethbridge Hurricanes on Saturday and Sunday in the first showcase of the season. Puck drop is set for 3:45 on Saturday and then 2:15 on Sunday. And now it's time for us to check in with Shelby Clark another time for an extended look at weather.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast as we head right into the Thanksgiving long weekend. We're all pretty pumped for that. We'll be starting off with our central zone of our provinces. Now on the Alberta side, definitely looking a lot warmer compared to, the last couple of days. Most spots just sitting at 20 degrees right now, which is nice to see. Hopefully that will continue on through October. 21 for over in Edmonton and over here in Rocky Mountain House, and seeing that 22 over in Jasper. So Jasper's definitely looking the warmest there over on this side. But we are going to be seeing some beautiful temperatures for the weekend. So, it's nice to see that we're starting off on our Friday with this temperature. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side for our central zone here, they are seeing slightly the same conditions as us on our Alberta side, although a few degrees cooler compared. 17, 18 for Prince Albert and Melfort, while it is 19 for Meadow Lake and down in Saskatoon. North Battleford is just seeing that 20 degrees, so matching with us here in the border city. So slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side, but not looking too bad. Switching over to our northern zone now, they are looking slightly cooler, but they're warming up slightly in some spots, especially with those 16s and 14s in most areas over on this side. 11 for Stony Rapids and Wollaston Lake, while there's 9 up in Uranium City. So Uranium City is definitely looking the coolest compared to the rest. And switching over to our Alberta side once again for our northern zone, they are actually matching with us in our central area for sure. Seeing that 21 for Fort McMurray, and up in high level, seeing that 20 for Grand Prairie. So some spots are just seeing past that 20-degree point. Seeing that 18 for Fort Chipewyan and Peace River in Slave Lake is looking at the coolest conditions compared at 15. But, still nice temperatures, I would say. No one can complain right now. Going over to our southern zone now. As you can see, looking a lot more cool down from what they have been seeing. They are now matching and even with us in our central area with that 20 and 21s over on this side, especially for the Alberta side. So nice to see that we're now evening out because, they were seeing some nice mid-range 20 temperatures for a while there, and we were all pretty jealous, but now they're back cooling down with us. And going back to our Saskatchewan side to end things off, most spots are just seeing that 19 degrees over on this side, and 16 and 18 for Regina, Yorkton, and Estevan. So looking slightly cooler for our Saskatchewan side in our southern zone. But now as we look at temperatures overnight and what we can expect as we head into the weekend, we will be seeing some nice warm evening lows for most spots in the surrounding area. Low of 5 that most will expect. Isle Across and Meadow Lake will be looking at a low of 7 and 8, so not too bad of temperatures, a little bit warmer than what we would expect as we are more in the fall season. Usually we expect lower plus temperatures or even those minus marks with those -1 to 3, but now it's nice. We're getting even closer to that low of 10. And looking at other spots here across here, if it can skip, there we go. Jace is helping me out over there. Most spots here are also going to be seeing that low of 5. Expecting tonight, a low of 4 that Calgary and Unity will expect, and a low of 6 that Pearson will see tonight. So not too bad of temperatures expected over in these spots as well. And ending off with a look at your 7-day forecast for here in the border city. Get ready, we're seeing a lot more sun for the weekend. Beautiful, just in time for our Thanksgiving long weekend, and good time for some fall photos, so get out there. Then next week, get ready, we will be cooling it down with that 8 on Tuesday and seeing that 10 and 11 next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So get your light jackets ready and your fall wardrobe prepared. That's all I have for now. Our Jace Mackey will have more news coming up after the break.
Thank you so much for being here today to talk about the Wainwright Haunted House.
You're welcome. We're glad to be here.
So, is this the first year the haunted house has been able to run since COVID?
Yes. We did it in 2019. That was our last year. And then we looked at it, we thought about it in 2020, but we knew we couldn't do it. And then even last year, like with the whole mask mandates and things like that, they're like, well, everybody will be wearing masks. I'm like, we didn't know what legalities would come into play. Like if the government would say, no, you can't do that, because we use fog machines and laser lights, and there's all kinds of there could be water, any kind of liquid. We didn't want to take any chances. And then this year, everything with the bans and whatever, like mask mandates and all the laws, they were lifted. So we said, let's go for it, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
Is there a certain charity that the proceeds go towards in Wainwright?
What we do is we accept donations to the food bank. So if you've got some groceries at home that you don't, that you want to donate, you can do that. And we also do a cash donation. So if you want to donate however much money you want, you can. And the proceeds to that, like the food, all goes to the food bank every year. So we usually bring a couple of truckloads full of groceries to the food bank, which is very much needed at this time of the year. And then our cash, when whatever amount of money we make, we donate it to the Canadian Tire Jumpstart Kids program, which we always try and donate to a charity that stays in Wainwright. And the Jumpstart Kids program is to help kids that can't afford to play sports in our town. It gets them so that they can play sports in our town. And we always make sure it's a local charity, and it's always food bank. And then the cash donation, the last few years it's been for Jumpstart for kids. But there's been other times we've picked other charities that are local. We always keep it in Wainwright.
How long does it take to prepare the haunted house?
That's a tough one, because it depends on what we decide to do, because Mike, who's kind of our leader, he's got all the ideas in his head. I can have ideas, but I'm not as good as putting them forth as he is. He's just got this creative mind that can do whatever. And it just depends on what we want to do and how many volunteers we get. I know quite a few years ago, we ran our haunted house in an old hotel that's in Wainwright, the old Wainwright Hotel. And we started building that because we had to build actual rooms, because it's just a big empty building with no electricity. So that we started that at the beginning of August. We started building, and we were still working on it the day we opened. But a building like this, which has got different rooms and whatnot, it's a lot smaller. We started probably just under a month ago. We started building, and he'll still be working on it the day of. He'll be tweaking this and tweaking that, and we'll be, making sure everything runs properly. So it takes anywhere. We start usually in very beginning of September. We try and start, and it takes right up until we start running in October.
What has the community response been like for the haunted house coming back in Wainwright?
We've had a lot of people, people come up to me. I work in retail in town here. So where I work, people know me well enough. They come in and like, are you running the haunted house? We're like, yeah, and whatnot. And we've had a lot of response going, everybody's so excited to see it come back, because it's been so long. And also because we donate to the food bank, the last 2 years, we haven't been able to, because we're a nonprofit organization. So whatever money we make, we don't have any by the time the haunted house is done and we've given our donations. And some of it comes out of our own pockets and whatnot. But the nice thing is the food bank will actually benefit again this year, and we're so happy about that after 2 years. And the town is wonderful to us, and we've got people that come from out of province, like 3-4 hours away. They'll drive to Wainwright to come and see, and even some of them are like, we're driving to Wainwright, let's all go. And they're so excited to see it back.
You have really answered all my questions that I had planned for today. Is there anything that I missed?
People ask, and I get this question every year, can I bring my 4-year-old, or can I bring my 2-year-old, or can I bring my 10-year-old? People always ask, what's the age group? What's the age limit of the haunted house? And for me, my answer, and this has been my answer since day one, is it just depends on the child. Like if your 3-year-old can watch like Stephen King's It, or like a scary movie and be like, hee, that's awesome, and not be scared, that's cool. They can come on in. But if your 12-year-old like gets tapped on the shoulder and they literally scream and jump, it's kind of based on that. It's the personality of the person. It's not an age limit, because there's no age limit. We've had people come in with their newborn, like their 2-month-old babies walking through and not bat an eye, but we've had like 16-year-olds that are so terrified that we've had to usher them out when they're like, oh, we're so brave, and no, they're not. So it depends on the personality, whether you can handle us or not.
Thank you so much again for talking with me today. Your haunted house sure sounds like a spectacular fun time.
Thank you for having us.
Now is the time for you to get a team together and get registered for an upcoming dodgeball tournament. The Lloydminster Region Health Foundation has just announced their 4th annual Lloydminster's Gift to Health live stream, and this year it's going to be a dodgeball tournament. Only 16 teams are going to be accepted, so get your team together. Get signed up now at lrhf.ca. And the tournament's coming up on Tuesday, November the 29th, and you'll get to play a number of games, but there's also going to be awards handed out in different categories, like funniest costume and most sportsmanlike, and even more. And all funds raised are going to go to the Greatest Needs Fund with the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation, and they will also go towards youth mental health in our community. Now is the time to get registered. Once again, all the details at lrhf.ca. Get your ticket now for a huge party coming up next Saturday night. The Lloydminster Kinsmen are going to be hosting Harvest Hoedown, and they've got so much great live music lined up. The Johnner Brothers are going to be here on stage at the Lloyd X. You might remember their big hit, My Brother and Me. They've also got the old gang, Ken and Brad Johnner, the Johnner Brothers, going to be a part of Harvest Hoedown. Also performing, the Johnner Boys and Bud's Busted 9 Irons. Don't miss out on your chance to be a part of this huge party, take in some great live music, and dance the night away. Just get in touch with any member of the Lloydminster Kinsmen Club to get your ticket. You've probably heard of a haunted house, but have you heard of a haunted corn maze? You can experience one coming up tomorrow night. The Sunderland Hog Farm, their corn maze, they're going to have a haunted maze tomorrow evening, plus a fireworks extravaganza. For all the details, make sure you visit their Facebook page. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for this week's entertainment panel is the classic and lovely Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Of course, always love being here.
Oh yeah, best part of everyone's week, entertainment panel on Fridays, TGIF. This is what calls for the best panel of Friday.
Of course.
I would say.
Yes, I agree with you on that statement.
Yeah. And we got some, first topic is a pretty cool one, I would say, you know, for all the Super Mario fans out there. This was wild, seeing like this teaser trailer was released for the movie.
Yes.
And you know, it shows a little bit of who the big bad villain is, and as you would expect, we got some Bowser coming out.
Of course.
Yeah, and the animation style, absolutely so cute and so nice that, you know, I don't think a lot of people, not that they didn't expect it, but you know, they kind of wondering what this movie's gonna be all about, and then just seeing that teaser trailer of hearing the voices and seeing the animation, a lot of people are excited, and we got introduced, of course, to, you know, Mario, we got some Toad in there, and you know, a lot of people are in this too, if you check out the cast list, you know.
Yes.
Got like Chris Pratt being Mario, we got Charlie Day being Luigi, pretty sure,
Yep.
We got Keegan-Michael Key being Toad, and Jack Black being Bowser, and much more.
Yes, yes. It's an interesting cast. It's an interesting ensemble. I think it's hilarious that Jack Black is voicing Bowser.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely wild.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen is also in it, and he's voicing Donkey Kong, which I find hilarious as well. And then Anya Taylor-Joy is voicing Princess Peach. Now, obviously, anybody who knows Super Mario Bros. The game, Mario and Luigi has to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser, which is kind of what we get teased at. In the teaser trailer, Bowser takes over, steals the star, and then Mario lands in the Mushroom Kingdom with Toad, and now they have to start their adventure to save Princess Peach. So I think fans could have been a little bit worried about how the animation was going to look, but I think the animation looks beautiful. I think this is a perfect movie for anybody who wants to watch it because everybody has some sort of story that involves Mario in some aspect.
But I am also shocked, like you said, you know, it's not like those comics, like they've remade movies of it over time and time again. I'm surprised we haven't seen an old 70s or 80s movie of people just dressed in Mario and Luigi costumes.
Maybe there
like
is.
the Incredible Hulk or something.
Maybe there
and
is.
Then finally
it's
like
hidden deep down in a dark cave or something.
I'm just imagining us seeing like a clip from old style them in just old costumes. And then now it's like animation style, but yeah, they should have gone on it, but I'm really excited for it, and it looks very promising. I think it looks adorable, like a very cute movie, and seeing those little penguins already at the beginning, hilarious.
Yeah, I love it.
I think a lot of people are excited, and it's got a strong cast, like you were saying, and I think it's gonna be really good, honestly.
Yeah.
But you know, another big thing that has come out, we got, you know, I think everybody was shocked just because of the announcement, you know, from like Ryan Reynolds, and we got it from Hugh Jackman, but he is coming back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3.
Yes.
And wow, I don't think anyone was expecting that random announcement of just seeing the tweets and like the posts and everything. Everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, there's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, they posted a video, a reel on Instagram and Twitter, you know, it starts off with Ryan Reynolds explaining that he wanted to make this good. It was Deadpool's first introduction into the MCU. So he was racking his brain, coming up with good ideas. You know, typical Ryan Reynolds fashion. He's being serious but also making a joke, and then at the end he's saying, and I got nothing. Nothing's coming up. And then Hugh Jackman walks behind him and he's like, hey Hugh, wanna play Wolverine again? Yeah, sure, Ryan. So that is because anybody who knows Ryan Reynolds knows that him and Hugh Jackman have been friends for years.
Yeah.
And they have always made those kind of jokes over the years. So I think it's amazing that he's coming back as Wolverine. Now, fans are obviously a little bit confused. They did post a second video kind of explaining, you know, clearing up a little bit of the confusion about why or how that's possible, since in Logan he dies. So they kind of tease that he's a variant, which has been already introduced in the MCU. He's a different variant that's separate from Logan, which Ryan Reynolds explains takes place in 2094, something like that. So
it kind of makes sense though, because X-Men had a lot of different timelines as well,
it's
and
a different
was very
thing.
confusing.
It's a different Wolverine, but played by the same actor. I don't know. I have high hopes. Unfortunately, we have to wait till 2024. We get to keep that R rating, so it's gonna keep that same Deadpool feel. So I'm excited. I am very excited and hopeful for this film. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are excited. It's going to be amazing, but that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course, thank you.
And now it's the time of the show where we take a look at the Pet of the Day winner. Who's taking home the top prize this week? We've seen a lot of cute pets, as we always do. Who's it going to be? Wow, a whole squad of them. Congratulations, Ashley. We'll be in touch with you to let you know how you can pick up your Pet Pad gift card on Tuesday. Well, that does it for Primetime Local News for this week. Thank you all so much for joining us. Have a great weekend and happy Thanksgiving.